Thank you, madam.
It's a great honor and privilege to host you for the occasion of reviewing bond terms and decongesting our prison. The program is timely considering that we are more than 100% overcrowded. Our holding capacity here in Nairobi Remand, for instance, is 2,500, but our average daily lockup is 4,200. Out of these, 51% committed offenses that attract 3 years and below. We urge stakeholders in the criminal justice system to embrace non-custodial sentences and alternative dispute resolution mechanisms in addressing prison congestion.
Ninge request kama tungekuwa vile tunavyokuwa na court users committee, establish also the core players, the police, the judiciary, the police, the probation, ODPP, I think those ones. Prisons to be there, and law society, the key players. We have our own frequent or regular committees so that we iron out our issues in-house. When we have the CUC, we'll be able now to address. When issues come to NCAJ, then we request that also Ministry of Lands to be incorporated in areas that land will be required, so that they can look the availability of space to construct new prisons.
It is an honor to join you all this morning for the launch of the prison decongestion exercise, during which state and non-state agencies involved in the criminal justice system will collaborate to promote a sustainable prison population through the review of bail and bond terms, promotion of community service, and the revision of sentences for misdemeanors. The country's population has also grown significantly, and this has resulted not only in the number and complexity of offenses, but also in those who are given custodial sentences. It is therefore imperative that all agencies work together in order to ensure that our prisons do not burst at the seams with offenders. This is particularly important in modern times when premium is placed on the human rights of all, including those found in conflict with the law. I have had concerns from prison authorities when they say that decongestion is a temporary solution to a deeper problem, which is the reason, as the Chief Registrar, I pledge the support of the Judiciary Administration towards efforts to mainstream non-custodial sentences to ensure we are working constantly to reduce prison population to sustainable levels.
I urge the courts not to deprive offenders of their liberty and inalienable rights to bail pending trial unless circumstances demand. In addition, to consider community service orders as a sentencing option, whose objective is to decongest prisons and is effective for promoting responsibility and retribution.
I therefore thank the Chief Justice for this noble activity of decongesting our prison. It's an effective option of balancing justice and safety, and ultimately a sustainable way of ensuring access to justice. The NCAJ, which the Chief Justice is the chairperson, provide the most useful platform for addressing the challenges in prison.
Makosa mengi yako ndio, lakini mengi pia ni yale tungekuwa na koti kule mashinani hawangefika hapa. Mimi naomba tunapoanza mfumo huu, na niombe sana tushirikiane ili tusaidie kujenga zile koti ndogo kule mashinani. Hapa utakuta pengine ni masuala ya wale walikuwa wanafanya biashara zao ndogo, ama pengine amekutwa amelewa, ama pengine amekutwa anauza chang'aa, basi yako hapa. Akitoka hapa Chief Justice sasa anakuja anakuwa sasa ule mbaya zaidi kuliko vile amefika hapa. Na jambo hili la kupeleka bondi kule kwa polisi, kama lingefanywa liwe katika M-Pesa, unalipa, hakuna pesa inapitana, manake kidogo unaambiwa haya toa bondi ya 20, kama huna basi unaletwa hapa. Lakini ingekuwa katika hiyo system, hata wewe magistrate unaweza angalia ujue kuna bondi ya 20,000, naweza mpiga hiyo fine, bondi iingie kotini na huyo mfungwa aweze kutolewa.
Hii historia inafanywa Kenya leo, kwa sababu wajua maisha saa zingine inaweza kukuendesha vibaya na umejikuta uko hapa, si ndio? Na mimi ninajua wale ambao watatoka leo au labda ndio wa kwanza 10%, si ndio? Lakini itakuwa kitu ambayo itaangaliwa kila saa. Lady Justice Martha Koome, I go to Lang'ata Women's Prison so many times to release women who have been sentenced for hawking. Taken there, the fine is 5, 10, 20,000, and they don't have it. And then they're serving 3 months to a year. And it's really, really sad. And I think we need to find a way to really decongest and also be humane. Because it's really some of the people that are serving sentences here are really suffering, and their families are suffering. And especially the women and their children are also suffering. So what you've started right now, I tell you, your reward is in heaven. And we have some projects right now. We have car wash machines, we have milk vending machines, we have boda. You know, so I really hope that the ones that are coming out of Nairobi, if we can group them into self-help groups, and we can work that very quickly, we can actually give them something to sustain them as groups, because that's how work works. So, you know, we can work on that together. I can donate maybe 3 or 4 projects for us to give the groups that are coming out, that live in certain areas, to be able to work out. Wajua nikikuwapatia boda moja, ukifanya bidii 24 hours na ndio wapeleke shule mwanze hiyo kazi, labda baadaye watu 20 watakuwa na hiyo boda. Kila mmoja awe na yake, si ndio? Pia tuwa na vending machine, lakini pia tutaangalia, you know, we have to look at Nairobi River regeneration and see how many of them can be employed. We have to look at the Green Army, how many of them can be employed, so that at least we're actually going the full circle. Because, you know, to release them is one thing, to make sure that they don't get back here again is another. So I really commend you, Lady Chief Justice Martha Koome, and I hope that together we can make sure, hatutaki watu waende prisons, tunataka kuwa kama kama zile nchi za Ulaya ambao wanasema hizi sasa tuzifanye development centers kwa sababu Wakenya hawafanyi vitu ukora tena, si ndio? Sasa mkitoka hapo muamini Mungu, muamini Mungu, mshikilie Mungu, mnamjue, mnaweza kusimama imara, si ndio?
I'm privileged to host you today for the launch of the first phase of the review exercise for bail and bond terms by the lower courts, as well as the review of sentences by the High Court, all of which are aimed at reducing prison overcrowding. The congestion exercise shall in no doubt contribute significantly to humane treatment of offenders and respect for their inherent human rights and dignity. Kenya Prison Service plays a crucial role in criminal justice system by ensuring timely production of inmates in courts as needed for the administration of justice. With support from partners, the service also trains paralegals and provides legal aid to ensure that underprivileged prisoners are well prepared for effective self-representation. Currently, the average daily prisoners population has been oscillating between 60,000 to 62,000. This is against the designed holding capacity of 32,000. This implies that prison facilities averagely are 91% overcrowded. As a nation, however, there is need to address the root cause, for it is true that congestion is an outcome of increased contact with the justice chain. The Kenya Prison Service has noted that among the key challenges in implementation of bail and bond review is lack of sensitization on the two subjects and weak interagency coordination. This, coupled with issuance of unaffordable bails and bonds to poor persons, translates to high number of remanded prisoners and convicted inmates in our already overstretched facilities. The service continues to put in place necessary facilities for protection of children accompanying their mothers to prison. These include establishment of modern and fully equipped daycare facilities in Lang'ata, Kisumu, Mombasa, and Machakos, with the plans underway to roll out similar facilities across all facilities. Special consideration is given to expectant and lactating mothers serving custodial sentences, addressing their unique needs. These include both postnatal and prenatal care. Also, the service has designed special facilities and special diet for breastfeeding mothers. We appeal for more support for continued capacity building and awareness. We further appeal to the judiciary, our Chief Justice, and the Royal Society of Kenya to enhance pro bono services in prisons for the benefit of deserving and indolent inmates, especially those in remand. In the spirit of decongesting our prisons, we request the judiciary to expedite the rollout of alternative justice system across the country. This has proved to be critical in reducing case backlog, effectively reducing prison population. We request and plead to the Office of the ODPP to whenever appropriate consider plea bargaining and diversion, which is an alternative to criminal prosecution, thus reducing congestion in prisons.
This facility opened its doors in 1911 as Nairobi Remand and has been in operation since then. The facility was originally established to hold 350 inmates. A major expansion was made in the 1990s due to an upsurge of population, and its holding capacity was enhanced to 2,500. However, as of today, the daily average population is 4,200, making it one of the most crowded facilities in Kenya. Majority of the inmates here are awaiting trials, that is 80%. The increase in population has led to very many challenges that are chronic to the institution. Inadequate beddings, recurring shortages of stores, feeding pans, prison uniform, lack of soap, lack of sufficient cleaning materials, acute congestion in wards and cells, risk of outbreak of contagious diseases and infestation by vermin, very high water bills, sometimes acute water shortages, acute shortage of staff houses and shortage of medical facilities, as well as inability for the correctional facilities to maintain high standards of cleanliness and repair and hygiene. Therefore, the need to have an urgent and sustained intervention like what we are launching today to decongest this facility and other correctional institutions within the provided legal and constitutional avenues cannot be overemphasized. We need to have a concerted effort as all players in the criminal justice system to address this problem. Therefore, I reiterate that the department acknowledges the role played by the criminal justice sector agencies and thus commits to the existing collaboration.
So today's gathering is a reaffirmation of our commitment as actors and agencies in the criminal justice system to ensure that our criminal justice system upholds the principles of justice, humanity, and rehabilitation. As we launch this initiative, we do so with a clear understanding that the challenges we face require not just immediate action, but sustained and strategic efforts that will transform our correctional system into one that reflects the highest standards of justice and human dignity. The current state of our prisons is untenable. It is unimaginable that we can have these huge numbers living the kind of life that they are living, and they are human beings. They are our children, they are our brothers. Something has got to happen. For instance, we've been told the prison facilities in the Nairobi region alone has 9,458 inmates, of which 2,496 are convicts, and a staggering 4,962 are unconvicted persons. These are people who can do their cases coming from home. And some of them even include debtors, people who took somebody's money. They are here. How will they pay when they are here? Thank you. This situation is made worse by the fact that some facilities, like the Industrial Area Remand and Maximum Prison, is operating at 200% of its capacity, effectively hosting twice the number of inmates it was designed to accommodate. Such congestion severely undermines the prison's ability to fulfill its core mandate, which is rehabilitation and the reformation of the offenders. People are not meant to be overcrowded like sardines, but to come here and come to terms with why they committed the offense. So overcrowded prisons are not conducive to human living conditions, and without such conditions, the dignity of those incarcerated is compromised. No wonder Honorable Arashi was telling us of an experience of how people came here from our constituency on petty offenses, stealing a phone, I don't know what else they grabbed. But when they came here, they became worse. They became robbers with violence, and in that process they were killed. So it is imperative that we restore the prison environment to one that supports the rehabilitation of offenders, as this is the only way we can hope to reintegrate them into our society as responsible and informed citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the cornerstone strategies of this initiative that we are undertaking today is the promotion and expansion of the community service orders. The judiciary is committed to reviewing the sentences, and when appropriate, we will release convicts to perform community service instead of serving time in incarceration. During the last financial year, that is 2023-2024, our courts reviewed 6,555 sentences according to our CSO judge. Out of these, 2,918, almost half of them, of those individuals, were deemed suitable for release under community service orders. This approach not only alleviates the burden on our prison system, but also serves as an innovative tool for supporting the government's environmental conservation efforts by embracing green sentencing, where community service involves activities such as tree planting and environmental restoration. We are aligning our criminal justice practices with a broader national agenda of combating climate change. We are also putting a very strong emphasis on restorative justice as a means to foster social harmony within our communities. We are concerned that you have left your families, you have left your children, you have left your communities. And even if you have come here and served, because you had wronged a member of your family or your community, by serving here, you have not even restored that relationship. So we are concerned about restorative justice. By promoting victim-offender reconciliation, and I'm very grateful to the prison services and the correctional services for carrying out this initiative of restorative justice. We will give you all the support that you require, because we aim to facilitate the integration of released individuals into society. And this approach ensures that upon your release, the former inmates are equipped to rebuild their lives and relationships, thereby contributing positively to the community. Another critical aspect of our criminal justice reform agenda is strengthening pre-bargaining, which Mr. Megwe very well put in this memorandum. Within the justice system, pre-bargaining is included in our criminal procedure code. It is part of our criminal processes. But we haven't done enough to inform the public about pre-bargaining, so that you find the investigating officer, the prosecutor, is scared of engaging in pre-bargaining, lest they will be accused of compromising the case through corruption or bribery. So we need to educate the public that our life is about negotiating, isn't it? Yes. Even when I go to the market, I negotiate myself as the CJ, what I'm buying, so that I'm getting good quality for it. So even if I've committed an offense, I have the freedom to negotiate pre-bargaining. So we are working, and our judges and magistrates have been sensitized about pre-bargaining. When somebody saves us of judicial time by reducing it tremendously, then you cannot sentence them to the maximum. You have to reduce the sentence. It is within their discretion to do that, but we have gone through training to see to it that there is always a give and take. So by doing this, we aim to expedite trials and reduce the backlog of cases and ensure that justice is expeditious. Furthermore, we are committed to the diversion of children, and thank you, Commissioner General, for letting us know the mechanisms you have put in place to protect our children. Because we firmly believe that when children are in conflict or in contact with the law, it's because we have failed them as a society. We have failed them as parents, we have failed them as teachers, and we have failed them as community. Because children do not belong to the justice sector, they belong to schools, they do not belong to prisons, and we must provide rehabilitative avenues that allow them to grow into law-abiding citizens. Similarly, petty offenders should not be subjected to incarceration. Instead, they should be diverted to community service or alternative sentencing options that enable them to contribute positively to society. For instance, prison sentences of less than 3 months should be replaced with offenders being assigned to community service projects instead. So this initiative that we are launching today will be implemented in 2 phases. Phase 1, we will review bail and board terms. The first phase focuses on reviewing the bail and board terms of all unconvicted persons currently in the remand within Nairobi region. And if you assure this team that you're going to come to court, you will surely go home. Yes, you will. This is done based on the understanding that it is a fundamental principle of our Constitution that unconvicted individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty. And when I hear somebody has been here for 11 years waiting for trial, I tend to think that person has served the sentence. Therefore, we will take all those cases. I'm told 10% of them they have overstayed here, so we'll take them. And within this program, those cases will be dealt with also. Those stagnant cases of many years. It is therefore unacceptable for these individuals to remain in custody simply because they cannot afford bail or bond. Through this initiative, we aim to ensure that economic circumstances do not unjustly keep people in remand. Poverty should not be the reason why people are in prison. You should be in prison for another reason, but not because of poverty. Beyond the immediate scope of this initiative that we are launching today, we are also implementing long-term measures to prevent the unnecessary detention of unconvicted persons. The bail and board policy has been in operation for some years now, and we are committed to ensuring its uniform application across the country. Our honorable magistrates continue to be sensitized on how to maintain predictability and fairness in imposing bail and board terms, ensuring that the conditions imposed on bail and board are within reach for most of the accused persons. Additionally, we are also streamlining the process for posting bail and board and sureties to make it more efficient and expeditious. As the National Council on the Administration of Justice, we are actively working with the Inspector General of Police and now the CS Interior to make sure when you go to the police station and you pay cash bill, it is no longer cash bill, it is an electronic money transfer that can be seen even when you go to court, like Honorable Erashi said. So we are all keen to work together as NCJ to put all this system together so that it serves us properly for the needs of justice to be met.